Victor Harlow was not a man who believed in luck. He believed in numbers, science, and hard work. He was one of Earth's richest men, a tech billionaire who lived alone in a massive glass mansion on the edge of New Berlin City. Most people only saw him on news channels or in stories about space innovation. But Victor didn't care for fame. He only cared about creating a better future. It was a cold evening when it happened. Victor was driving his electric car through the lower district. He rarely came here. The streets were broken, buildings were cracked, and lights flickered like old memories. He was on his way back from a secret meeting about a new energy source. Something about the stars. Something powerful. As he turned a corner, he saw something strange on the roadside. A small figure lying motionless on the ground. He slowed down. Girl. She looked around 8 years old. Her clothes were dirty and torn. Her bare feet were scratched, and her long black hair was tangled like it hadn't been washed in weeks. But what caught Victor's attention the most was her belly. It was swollen, not like someone who ate too much food, but round and glowing faintly beneath her skin. He stopped the car and stepped out. "Hey," he said softly, kneeling beside her. "Can you hear me?" She didn't move. He checked her pulse. Weak, but there. Her skin was warm, almost too warm. He touched her stomach carefully and felt a soft hum, like energy vibrating under the skin. This was not normal. Victor quickly lifted her into his arms. She was light, like a feather. He placed her gently in the back of his car, and the door closed with a whisper. The car's AI spoke in a calm voice. "Unknown life form detected. Vital signs unstable," Victor responded. "Take us home." "Prepare." The med lab. Back at his mansion, his private medical lab lit up with activity. Robotic arms moved quickly, scanning the girl as Victor laid her on a medical table. "Name unknown," the AI reported. "Species unknown. Energy readings off the chart. Immediate stabilization required." Victor frowned. "She's human, isn't she?" The eye paused. "Partially." That made Victor's heart beat faster. The girl's stomach glowed again, brighter this time, pulsing with blue light. It was like something was alive inside something that wasn't human. But she wasn't in pain. Her face looked peaceful, like she was dreaming. Then, suddenly, her eyes opened, big, brown, and full of fear. Victor stepped back slightly, raising his hands to show he meant no harm. "It's okay," he said softly. "You're safe." She blinked, breathing fast, her body shaking. "My name is Victor," he said. "Can you tell me yours?" She opened her mouth, but only one word came out. "There. Coming." Then she passed out again. Victor stood frozen. Who was they? And what was inside this child? Victor didn't sleep that night. He watched the scan results over and over. The girl's body was hosting a type of energy he had never seen. Not even an alien tech that Earth had collected after first contact years ago. This energy wasn't just inside her, it was connected to her, living with her, feeding off her. The next morning, the girl woke again. She sat up slowly, weak but alert. Her eyes searched the room until they found Victor. "Where am I?" she whispered. "My home," Victor answered. "You fainted. I found you on the street." She looked down at her glowing belly and touched it gently. "It's still here," she said. "What is it?" Victor asked, keeping his voice calm. She hesitated, then whispered, "A seed from my world." Victor's heart skipped. "Your world? Are you not from Earth?" She didn't answer. Instead, she looked into his eyes and said something that sent chills down his spine. "They sent me here to keep it safe. Because the darkness is coming." Victor sat beside her, trying to understand. "What darkness?" She lowered her head. "The ones who destroy stars, the Voidborn." Victor had heard that name only in old alien warnings. The Voidborn were considered legends, creatures from the far edges of the galaxy who fed on life and light. No one believed they were real. But looking into the girl's eyes, Victor believed. "What's your name?" he asked gently. The girl smiled slightly. "Nia." Victor nodded. "Okay, Nia, I'll protect you, I promise." Later that day, Victor's security reported unusual drone activity near the city. Unmarked ships flying low, scanning for energy signatures. The same energy Nia had inside her. Victor quickly shut down all outgoing signals from his mansion. No one could know she was here. "Nia," he said seriously, "they're looking for you. We need to move." She looked scared. "They'll take the seed. They'll hurt you." "I can handle myself," he said with a small smile. "I've built things people only dream of." But deep inside, Victor knew this was something bigger than money, machines, or science. This was about life, about hope, and about a little girl with something inside her that could change the galaxy. Victor Harlow had faced many difficult problems in his life: broken machines, failed rockets, business enemies. But nothing had prepared him for Nia. She was quiet, polite, and very curious. But behind her soft voice and small smile, Victor could feel a deep sadness. And something else: fear. The energy inside her belly still pulsed gently. It didn't hurt her, but it was growing stronger every day. Victor's AI, named Aura, had already scanned the energy more than 100 times. "I still cannot identify the source," Aura reported. "It is not from Earth, nor from any known alien race in our database." Victor studied the hologram showing Nia's internal scan. The glowing seed inside her floated near her stomach, like a star trapped in a human body. "She called it a seed," Victor said quietly. "What kind of seed grows inside a child?" Aura answered, "Possibly not a plant. The structure suggests something alive, intelligent." Victor looked at Nia, who sat nearby playing with a small robot dog he had given her. She didn't seem dangerous, but he knew now she wasn't entirely human. That night, Victor tried to learn more. "Nia," he asked gently, "where are you really from?" She stopped playing and looked at him with wide eyes. "My planet is gone," she said. It was called Lyra 9. It had blue trees and skies that sang when it rained. Victor's heart ached. What happened to it? "The Voidborn," she whispered. "They came like a shadow. Everything they touched turned to ash." She paused, then touched her belly. "Before my people died, they gave me the seed of Lyra. I was too young to understand, but the seed is the last hope." Victor leaned forward. "Hope for what?" "To bring life back," Nia said. "To start again on another world." Victor sat in silence. He had spent his whole life building machines to travel through space, to bring humans to other planets. But this little girl, she carried a seed that could create life, not just find it. The next morning, things changed. Victor woke to loud alarms. "Warning," a UR's voice said. "Unmarked surveillance drones approaching the mansion." He ran to the control room and saw the feed. 3 black drones hovered above the edge of his estate. They were scanning for something. Then his eyes widened. "They're tracking the energy," he said. "They are not government," Aura confirmed. "No identification codes, possibly mercenary or off-world." Victor acted fast. He activated his estate's invisibility shield. The drones disappeared from the screen. "Nia," he called out, running to her room. She stood by the window, watching the sky. "They found me," she whispered. Victor nodded. "We need to leave now." He led Nia to his private underground transport bay. A sleek black shuttle waited, already fueled. It could reach the moon in under an hour. "Where are we going?" she asked. "Somewhere safe," Victor replied. "A place no one can find us." As the shuttle lifted off, Nia looked down at Earth. "I like the trees," she said. "They remind me of home." Victor looked at her, then at the glowing light inside her. "You'll have a new home," he promised. They landed at Moonlight Bay, Victor's hidden lunar research station. Only he and Aura knew of its existence. The base was built deep within a crater, invisible from orbit. Inside, Nia walked slowly, touching the smooth walls and looking up at the stars through the dome. "Is this where you live too?" she asked. Victor smiled slightly. "Sometimes. I come here to think and to work on projects the world isn't ready for." He brought her to the medical room, where a URA had prepared a new stabilizing chamber. "Nia," he said, "we need to keep you strong. The seed is growing faster now." She nodded bravely and stepped inside the chamber. Blue light surrounded her, gently connecting to her skin. The hum of the seed softened. "Vitals stable," Aura reported. "Energy levels balanced for now." Victor let out a breath of relief. Later, Victor walked alone through the base. He kept thinking about what Nia had said. The seed could bring life back to planets, could heal worlds destroyed by war, pollution, or time. But then he remembered her other words, the Voidborn. Victor didn't believe in ghosts or legends, but he had heard whispers about something dangerous out beyond the known stars. Something old, something that consumed. Maybe this was real after all. Back in the lab, Aura found something new. "Victor," the AI said, "I have decoded a pattern in the seed's energy." Victor looked at the screen. "It is not random. It is a message." "What does it say?" he asked. Aura translated. "One child carries the seed. One world must bloom. If the darkness finds her, all light ends." Victor stared at the words. A cold feeling passed through him. This wasn't just about saving one child. This was about saving everything. The next day, Nia walked to Victor with a serious look. "Starfather," she said. He looked surprised. "What did you call me?" "That's what my people would call the one who protects the seed." Victor smiled, deeply moved. "Then I'll be your Starfather." Nia looked up at him. "You'll need to be brave." Victor nodded. "I've built rockets, fought governments, even survived media attacks. I can handle this." She shook her head. "No, this will be different, because the Voidborn, they don't care about machines or power. They only care about ending life." Victor stood still, the weight of her words sinking in. He had found a little girl on the side of a dirty road. Now, he held the future of life itself in his hands. Victor Harlow stood on the silver walkway of his hidden lunar base, Moonlight Bay, looking out at the stars through the large glass dome. The earth floated in the distance, glowing blue and calm. But his mind was far from peaceful. Inside, a little girl was resting. Her name was Nia. She was carrying something inside her that was not only powerful, but possibly the last hope of an ancient alien race. And now, people were looking for her. Or worse, things. Victor turned away from the window and walked quickly back into the base. The lights dimmed slightly as his Aura spoke. "Security alert," Aura said. "Multiple ships detected near Earth's orbit. Pattern suggests search formation. Energy scanners are active." Victor's eyes narrowed. "Are they scanning for the seed?" "Yes," Aura confirmed. "Their scanners match the frequency of the seed's pulse." He clenched his fists. "So it begins." He rushed to Nia's room. She sat quietly, legs crossed, watching a small hologram of her home planet that Victor had created for her. Blue trees danced in gentle winds. Strange birds sang soft songs. "I thought they wouldn't find me this fast," she said without turning. "They haven't yet," Victor replied. "But they're trying." Nia looked up at him. Her face was calm, but her eyes held something older than her years. "They will keep coming until they take it." Victor sat beside her. "Then we'll go where they can't follow." She tilted her head. "Where?" He gave a small smile. "I built a ship. Not just any ship, a stealth craft, fast, silent, invisible to most trackers." Nia blinked. "You really are like a Starfather." Victor chuckled. "I prefer brilliant inventor. but I'll accept it. Inside the launch hangar, a sleek black ship stood ready. It was shaped like an arrowhead, with wings that folded in like bird feathers. Its name was the Whisper. Victor designed it for deep space travel, in case of emergencies or secret missions. It had no windows, only high-tech sensors. It ran on dark energy cells and used a cloaking field even Aura couldn't fully explain. As they walked toward it, Aura's voice echoed again. Warning, unmarked vessel approaching moon sector. Estimated time, 42 minutes. Victor looked at Nia. We're leaving now. She nodded. The Whisper's door slid open, and they stepped inside. The interior was small but beautiful, dark silver panels, soft lights, and floating control screens. Nia sat in the co-pilot seat and buckled in like she had done it before. You've flown before? Victor asked, surprised. She smiled softly. My people traveled among the stars before the fall. Victor took the pilot's seat and grinned. Then let's show them we still can. The Whisper lifted off silently and shot into the sky. Moonlight Bay shrank below them as they passed the dusty lunar surface. In moments, they entered open space. Victor activated the stealth field. Outside, the ship vanished into blackness. Aura updated them. The enemy ship is scanning. But they cannot see us. Victor nodded. Good. We stay silent and we move fast. He set course for a hidden spaceport far beyond Mars, a place known only to a few explorers and ex-scientists like him. There, they could hide and figure out their next move. But suddenly, alert, Aura said. Strange anomaly detected behind us. Energy field, unnatural. Victor looked at the screen. Something was moving fast, faster than any ship. It wasn't shaped like a machine. It looked like a black shadow stretching, twisting, like a piece of the night sky was alive. Via's eyes went wide. Voidborn. Victor stared. What is that thing? They don't fly, Nia said, trembling. They slip through reality. The Whisper shook slightly as the shadow moved closer. The stars behind it disappeared. Victor activated an emergency jump. Hang on, he shouted. The ship spun and surged forward. Space twisted around them, stars turning into bright streaks. The void creature vanished from their sensors. They had escaped. For now, the Whisper landed on an asteroid base hidden behind Saturn's rings. Victor had once used this place to test space weapons. Now it was dark and quiet. Perfect for hiding. Inside, Victor gave Nia water and food. She ate slowly, still tired from the seed's energy. He sat beside her. That thing, was it truly voidborn? She nodded. That was a scout. The real ones are much worse. Victor felt a chill. And they want the seed? They want to destroy it, she said. The seed can create. The voidborn only destroy. They fear what it might become. Victor stood and looked out at space again. He had spent his life building tools, ships, machines. But now he was facing something that couldn't be fixed with wires or circuits. A battle between creation and destruction. Later, Aura completed a deep scan of the seed. Victor, it said, I found something inside the seed's core location. Victor raised his eyebrow. Where? A star system. Uncharted. Far beyond the reach of human colonies. It had 3 suns and 1 strange planet orbiting in a perfect circle. The system's name, in the seed's language, was translated as Elion's Cradle. Nia looked up in awe. That's where I'm supposed to go. That's where the seed must bloom. Victor studied the data. It's dangerous. We'll have to go through forbidden zones, pass war-torn sectors, and avoid trackers. Nia simply said, if we don't, the seed will die, and my people's hope dies with it. Victor placed a hand on her shoulder. Then we go, together. The Whisper prepared for a long journey. Supplies were loaded. The navigation system calculated a path through Deep Space One with many risks. But Victor Didn't hesitate. He had found a purpose far greater than anything his money or inventions ever gave him. He wasn't just protecting a girl anymore. He was protecting the future. The whisper moved through deep space like a silent ghost. The stars out sparkled like diamonds on black velvet. But inside the ship, tension filled the air. Victor Harlow sat in the control chair, staring at the star map. Their destination, Elion's cradle, was still many days away. It was a hidden star system beyond human colonies, beyond even the known alien borders. The place the seed had revealed. The place where life could begin again. Behind him, Nia rested in the med chamber. Her face was pale. Her breathing slow. The seed inside her glowed brighter each day, but it was also draining her energy. Aura's voice spoke quietly. Victor, her vitals are weakening. The seed is accelerating. Victor looked back at the glass chamber where Nia lay. He clenched his jaw. Then we need answers now. He walked to the research bay. There, a large holographic scan of the seed rotated in the air. Its shape had changed. What once looked like a glowing sphere now had long root-like patterns, branching out. Like it was growing. Victor placed his hand on the control pad. Aura, break the seed's language code again. Show me everything. Lines of alien symbols danced in the air. Aura translated them slowly. We are the Lifebinders. Before the stars were silent, we gave them song. This is our last breath. Our memory. Our hope. Let it grow where light is. Pure. Victor read the words aloud. It's a memory capsule. Aura added, it's more than that. The seed contains genetic blueprints, terraforming instructions, and something else. What else? Victor asked. A voice. Aura replied. Victor's eyes widened. Play it. A soft hum filled the room, then a voice spoke gentle, musical, and full of emotion. To the one who carries the seed, we thank you. You are our final gift. If this seed reaches Elion's cradle, life will begin again. But if the darkness takes it, we will be truly gone. Victor stood silent. Now he understood Nia wasn't just carrying a seed. She was carrying the soul of a lost world. Nia woke up later, feeling weaker than before. She sat up slowly and saw Victor sitting nearby, his eyes tired but kind. Did you learn something? She asked. Victor nodded. Yes, the seed is more than a tool. It's your people's last message. Their last chance. Nia touched her belly gently. I can feel them sometimes, like dreams. I see their faces, hear their voices. Victor looked at her carefully. Can I ask you something important? She nodded. Why you? Why did they choose a child to carry it? Nia's eyes glistened. Because children have stronger hearts. That's what the elders said. We still believe in good things. We still hope. Victor smiled softly. They were right. Later, Victor checked the star map again. They had to pass through a dangerous sector called the Rift Belt, a place filled with broken ships, ancient war debris, and strange gravitational fields. Few made it through safely, but they had no choice. As they entered the belt, the ship shook slightly. Outside, thousands of metallic pieces floated, some shaped like old alien crafts, some like human satellites long forgotten. The place looked like a graveyard of time. Suddenly, Aura spoke urgently. Energy. Spike detected. Unknown vessel behind us. Victor turned to the screen. A ship was following, sleek, dark, and silent. Nia stood beside him, her hands shaking. It's them. Victor activated the cloaking field. Let's hope they didn't see us. But it was too late. The enemy ship fired a pulse wave. The whisper shook violently. Lights flickered. Sparks flew from the ceiling. Aura shouted, shields holding. But stealth is down. They've locked on. Victor gritted his teeth. Hold tight. He pushed the controls, dodging sharp debris and flying through narrow wreckage. Paths. The enemy ship followed like a shadow. Nia cried out, They're trying to destroy the seed. Victor turned sharply, flying the ship through the remains of a massive alien battleship. Pieces scraped their hull, but they escaped out the other side. Then Victor had an idea. He flew directly toward a spinning asteroid with a gravity well. "Aura," he said, "prepare for short-range jump and aim at that crater." "Dangerous." Aura warned. "I know." He pressed the jump button. In a flash of light, the whisper disappeared, just as the enemy fired a beam. The shot missed, hitting the asteroid instead. Victor and Nia reappeared safely behind it. No sign of the enemy. "We lost them," Aura confirmed. Victor leaned back, breathing hard. "Let's not do that again." Nia gave a weak laugh. "You're a good pilot, Starfather," Victor smiled. "Thanks, co-pilot." They continued the journey through the rift belt until they finally passed into a quiet, dark stretch of space. "The stars looked older here, colder." Aura spoke gently. "One jump left to reach Elion's cradle." Victor looked at Nia. Her body was faintly glowing now. Even her skin had a soft shimmer, like starlight was inside her. "You're changing," he whispered. Nia nodded slowly. "The seed is waking up." "It's getting ready," Victor asked softly. "Will you be okay?" She looked up at him with a small, tired smile. "I don't know, but it's worth it." Victor stood beside her, his voice strong. "No matter what happens, I won't leave your side." Nia reached out and held his hand. Together, they watched the stars as the whisper prepared for its final jump. Ahead of them was Elion's cradle, the place where the last light of a dying race could bloom again, and behind them, the shadows were still following. Far behind the Earth and deep beyond the asteroid fields, the whisper prepared for its final jump toward Elion's cradle. Victor Harlow stood at the pilot controls. He had never been more focused in his life. The journey had already tested his skills, courage, and heart, but now something darker was closing in. Nia sat quietly near the back of the ship, wrapped in a blanket. Her glowing belly pulsed with light, now brighter than ever. She looked peaceful on the outside, but Victor could see the strain in her eyes. "The seed is almost ready," she whispered. "It knows the cradle is near." Victor nodded. "Then we'll get there, no matter what it takes." A URA's voice interrupted the quiet moment. "Warning, Moonlight Bay has been compromised. An unknown fleet is approaching fast." Victor's heart sank. Moonlight Bay, his secret lunar base, was supposed to be untraceable. But now the enemy had found it. "Estimated time before contact?" Victor asked quickly. 14 minutes, Aura replied. Nia stood slowly, her expression calm but serious. "They're not just coming for the seed now. They're coming for you too." Victor looked at her. "Let them come." The whisper landed back at Moonlight Bay just minutes later. Victor had returned to collect a special device, something he once built for planetary defense, but never used. A failsafe. As they entered the base, Aura activated emergency lockdown. Steel doors closed, shields turned on, and defense systems powered up. Victor led Nia to a hidden chamber underground. "This was built in case I ever had to survive a full-scale attack." The room was lined with energy shields, food supplies, medical beds, and a control center. "You'll be safe here," Victor told her, but Nia shook her head. "I'm not hiding. I'm part of this now." Victor hesitated. He wanted to protect her, but she had proven stronger than anyone he'd ever met. Outside, the sky above the moon began to darken, not from shadows, but from ships. Dozens of black, silent vessels floated down like insects preparing to attack. Aura confirmed, "These are not human ships." Energy signatures matched the Voidborn. Victor's jaw tightened. "Activate all defenses." Cannons, drones, and laser turrets rose from the crater walls. Energy shields lit up around the base like a glowing dome. Then the enemy opened fire. Moonlight Bay shook under the first blast. The walls trembled. Dust fell from the ceilings. Victor moved quickly between control panels, launching defensive drones and targeting systems. He was not a soldier, but he was a builder, and every machine in that base was built with one purpose: survival. Multiple ships approaching ground level. ERA reported. Victor launched attack drones. Bright blue lights shot across the sky, striking enemy ships. Some exploded in mid-air, but more came behind them. Then one of the walls burst open. Two dark, tall creatures stepped through, humanoid in shape, but covered in moving shadow. No eyes, no mouth, just emptiness. Victor aimed his plasma rifle. "Stay away from her," he fired. One creature staggered but didn't fall. It moved forward, absorbing the shot like smoke. Then a strange light burst from behind Victor. Nia. Body glowed like a small sun. She stepped forward, eyes filled with light, hands stretched out. The creatures froze. A deep hum filled the air as the seed inside her responded to the threat. With a pulse of glowing energy, a shockwave flew outward. The creatures were pushed back, their forms breaking apart like dust in the wind. Victor stared, stunned. "Nia, how did you do that?" She turned to him slowly. "The seed isn't just for life. It protects life too." But the battle wasn't over. More ships landed outside the base. Drones and weapons were being overwhelmed. Victor knew what he had to do. He ran to the underground vault and opened a case. Inside was a small glowing cube, his last invention, never tested. "What is that?" Nia asked. "It's a gravity disruptor," Victor replied. "I built it to stop meteor storms. But if I overcharge it, it can create a shockwave strong enough to wipe out everything, or give us one last escape." He looked at Nia. "We can't stay here. We have to get to Elion's cradle now." She nodded. "I'll guide you. The seed will help." They rushed back to the Whisper, now half covered in debris. Victor reactivated the engines and loaded the coordinates for their final jump, but the enemy wasn't finished. 3 large void-born ships rose into the air, aiming directly at them. As they prepared to fire, Victor activated the gravity disruptor and tossed it out of the airlock. Seconds later, a massive pulse of white-blue energy exploded outward. The ground shook. Enemy ships twisted in space. Some were thrown miles away. The Whisper shot into the sky, leaving the damaged base behind. Inside the ship, Victor checked the navigation system. "Jumping in 5 seconds," he said. Nia's body began to shine again. Her eyes closed as she whispered something in her language. Aura counted down. 3, 2, 1. The ship jumped into light. They appeared in a different part of the galaxy. And what they saw left both Victor and Nia in silence. Elion's cradle. A golden star shined in the center. Around it floated a single green-blue planet, glowing with natural energy. Rings of soft light circled it like arms. It was beautiful, untouched, pure. Nia opened her eyes. "This is where it must be planted." Victor guided the ship into orbit. "This is the end of the road," he said quietly. Nia smiled. "No, Starfather. This is just the beginning." The Whisper floated gently above the surface of a peaceful planet. Elion's cradle shined below, lush, green, and glowing with energy. It was like a painting of a perfect world, untouched by war or machines. Victor Harlow stood near the ship's window, staring down in awe. He had traveled across stars, fought shadowy enemies, and risked his life, but this moment felt like a dream. Behind him, Nia slowly stepped forward. Her skin glowed softly now, and her body was light, almost see-through. Her voice was calm but quiet. "We're here," she said. "The seed is ready." Victor turned. "Are you strong enough to do this?" She smiled. "It's not about strength. It's about purpose." They landed near a wide field, covered in soft grass that sparkled like it held drops of starlight. Strange flowers bloomed in silence, and the air smelled sweet and warm. Birds with winds of light flew above, singing a song that neither Victor nor Aura could translate. This world is alive, Aura said softly. Victor stepped onto the ground, helping Nia walk beside him. The seed inside her pulsed gently, like it was humming with happiness. Where do we plant it? He asked. Nia pointed toward the center of the field. A single tree stood there, ancient, golden, and tall. It didn't move, but Victor felt it. Watching, that tree is a keeper, Nia said. It's waiting for the seed. As they walked closer, Nia's glow became brighter. Victor noticed that her feet didn't even touch the ground anymore. She was floating slightly, like the planet itself was lifting her. When they reached the tree, she turned to Victor. This is where we say goodbye, she whispered. Victor froze. What do you mean? The seed and I are one now. To plant it, I have to become part of this world. Victor's eyes widened. No, there has to be another way. Nia shook her head gently. My people knew this. I was born to carry the seed, but planting it means I must give it everything I have. Victor stepped forward, voice shaking. I didn't come this far to lose you. You're not losing me, she said. You're helping me fulfill my mission. Tears burned in Victor's eyes. He had seen so much in his life: technology, wonder, stars, but nothing hurt more than this moment. You called me Starfather, he said, and I felt like I was truly one. Like I had a daughter again. Nia smiled warmly. You are, and you always will be. She hugged him gently. Though her body was now light as wind, her heart still beat strong. Promise me something, she said. Anything, Victor replied. When the seed blooms, tell your people we weren't just a race that died, we were a race that gave. I promise, Victor said softly. Then Nia stepped into the roots of the golden tree. The moment she touched the ground, the entire field lit up. A powerful light shot from her body, moving into the tree. The seed floated out of her belly and slowly melted into the tree's bark. Leaves shimmered. Roots glowed. The sky above shifted, stars twinkling in new patterns. Victor fell to his knees, watching in awe. The light spread across the planet. New trees rose, rivers flowed, mountains formed in seconds. The world came alive, fast, bright, beautiful. And in the center of it all, Nia stood quietly, her body becoming a shape of pure light. Then she faded, but the light remained. Hours passed. Victor sat quietly in the field, watching as the world transformed around him. Aura finally spoke. The seed has been planted. Planetary systems are stabilizing. New life forms detected. Victor didn't answer right away. His heart was full, sadness and joy mixing together. She did it, he whispered. He stood up, looking at the golden tree. It was now taller than before, its branches spreading wide. And in its center, a glowing orb floated, Nia's spirit, resting, glowing, eternal. Victor placed a hand on the tree. Thank you, little star. He returned to the whisper later, his steps slow, his mind quiet. But inside, he carried something new. Peace. Aura asked, will you return to Earth? Victor thought for a moment, then shook his head. Not yet. He said, there's something more I need to do. Before leaving, he activated a beacon, a signal to Earth and nearby colonies. But it wasn't a call for help. It was a message of hope. To all who hear this, I am Victor Harlow. I've witnessed the rebirth of a world. Not by war, not by machines, but by love, sacrifice, and a small girl named Nia. Her people gave their last light to heal what had been lost. I carry her memory, and so will this world. Elian's cradle is now protected, a place of peace. Come, not to take but to learn. Victor stayed on the planet for a while. He built a small outpost near the golden tree. He called it Nia's garden. Plants grew fast. The air remained clean. Animals appeared, gentle and calm. Scientists from Earth arrived weeks later, carefully, respectfully. They were amazed. This place It's like a second Eden, one of them whispered. Victor only nodded. It's a gift. One night, as Victor sat near the tree watching stars, he heard a soft voice in the wind. It was Nia. Thank you, Starfather. He smiled, tears in his eyes. You're welcome, my child, he said. Years had passed since Victor Harlow helped Nia plant the seed on Elion's cradle. The once barren planet had blossomed into a vibrant world filled with forests, rivers, and creatures of every shape and color. The golden tree, keeper of the seed, stood tall and proud in the heart of the land, a symbol of hope and new beginnings. Victor sat quietly in a small cabin near the tree, watching the gentle breeze ripple through the leaves. His face was older now, touched by time, but his eyes still held the spark of determination and kindness that had defined him. Though far from Earth, his heart remained connected to his home and to the promise he had made so long ago. The message Victor sent out from Elion's cradle had spread across the galaxy. Scientists, explorers, and peace seekers had traveled to the planet, eager to learn from this miracle of life. Instead of conflict, Elion's cradle became a beacon of unity, a place where different species shared knowledge and respected the sacred gift they had received. Victor often walked among the visitors, sharing stories of Nia and the seed. He told them how a little girl, carrying the hope of an entire lost civilization, changed the fate of countless worlds. Her courage, he said, reminds us that no matter how dark the night, a single light can guide the way. One evening, as the sun set in a cascade of orange and pink, Victor noticed a group of children playing near the golden tree. They laughed and chased each other beneath its glowing branches, their faces full of joy and wonder. He smiled softly. Among them was a small girl with bright eyes and a curious smile. She approached Victor and held out a simple flower she had picked from the ground. For you, she said shyly. Victor accepted the flower and looked into her eyes. He saw in her the same hope that had once lived in Nia. You remind me of someone very special, he said. The girl's eyes sparkled. Who? Someone who believed in the future, Victor replied. Someone who taught us that life is worth protecting. That night, Victor sat outside beneath the stars. The golden tree stood tall behind him, its branches swaying gently in the cool breeze. He closed his eyes and remembered Nia's words. We weren't just a race that died, we were a race that gave. Those words had changed him. They had changed the galaxy. The seed's light was no longer just inside a little girl. It was in every living thing on Elion's cradle, in the hearts of those who chose to protect life and light. Victor reached into his pocket and pulled out a small crystal, a gift from Aura before the AI had transformed into the planet's guardian spirit. The crystal pulsed with soft light, a reminder that even in silence, hope continued to grow. Suddenly, a soft glow appeared in the sky. Victor opened his eyes and saw a faint figure standing near the tree. It was Nia, but not as he remembered her. She was radiant, shimmering like starlight, her eyes filled with peace and love. Starfather, she said, her voice like a gentle song. The seed has grown. Thanks to you, life has found a new home. Victor stood slowly, tears in his eyes. I miss you every day, Nia. She smiled warmly. I am always here, in the wind, the trees, the stars. Wherever life blooms. Victor reached out, but her form began to fade with the night. Remember, she said softly, hope never dies. As the years went by, Elion's cradle continued to flourish. The golden tree became a place of pilgrimage, a symbol of resilience and love. Victor's story was told alongside Nia's, a tale of courage, sacrifice, and the power of a small girl's heart. And though Victor's time on Elion's cradle would one day end, his legacy lived on, because sometimes the greatest power is not in wealth or technology, but in the simple act of choosing to protect life.